Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to Heel Turn.
The number one podcast for everything WWE.
Welcome back to episode 13. As always, before we start, make sure you follow us on our socials, Instagram, TikTok, Twitter, and more importantly, subscribe to the channel. We're up to episode 13 now. We're doing this for quite a while and it's been going really well. Jasper, how are you today?
I'm good, mate. Road to episode 20. We're nearly there.
Yeah,
Fraser
Fraser will be back for episode 20.
Mate, we'll have a party.
We will.
All the fans can come down. We'll meet up at a pub after. We'll have episode 20, the party.
Yeah. You would have also noticed something sitting in the middle of
Oh my God.
of the podcast today. I think we'll see if we can
Lift it up
a little bit more. This is Jasper's head on the Tribal Chief, and more importantly, subscribe to Heel Turn. But yeah, what's the story behind this?
Shout out our mate of the podcast, Jamie Battaglia. He spent hours for absolutely no reason making what he calls a doof stick of myself on Roman Reigns' body.
Yeah.
All for the podcast. He's dedicated.
Yeah, I know.
So shout out to Jamie.
Jamie.
It's probably
Yeah.
the last shout out he'll get on Heel Turn. But
No, he brought it over. So I had a few mates. I had Jasper and Fraser and Jamie over as well for Money in the Bank. And yeah, he brought this over. And yeah, what a great idea. So shout out to Jamie.
you'll see it at BTV. Anyone who's going.
Yeah, exactly. Might even see it in Perth if you're a fan of Heel Turn. You might even see it there. We'll see.
Wow.
But we're gonna get into it. We're gonna review Night of Champions. How did you find Night of Champions?
I thought it was really good. Like all round, I thought there was a lot to like. There's a few things I didn't like, but definitely a lot to like, which is a good thing.
I'm just happy that I'd say it was worth it getting up and watching it because
Definitely.
same thing happened. Like Crown Jewel last year was so bad, and I got up at 3 a.m. for nothing really because it was just in Saudi Arabia. But I'm actually happy that we got a good Night of Champions because I actually think the main event was an awesome main event. And that main event was John Cena versus CM Punk. I think the John Cena heel turn has picked up a little bit, especially after this match.
This was definitely the best feud of
Yeah.
the heel turn so far in the retirement tour.
Yeah, I think Cena, we obviously said that he was going to use his heel tactics to get the better of Punk, which he did in the end because obviously we had Seth Rollins interfere in the match. I don't know if he was actually planning on cashing in though. When he came out, I don't think we would have seen it coming. Like, obviously he called Charles Robinson to the ring. Charles Robinson, the GOAT, by the way.
That was cool.
Taking that bump from Cena. It had flashbacks of WrestleMania. I can't remember which one it was. But
31?
Yeah,
32 maybe.
It might have been.
Yeah.
Yeah. But no, the John Cena heel turn has definitely picked up. This match I thought was a really good match. Like, a lot of really good spots. Cena, I think he had about like 3 or 4 attitude adjustments on Punk as well. Punk with a few GTSs as well. But yeah, what did you think about it?
It screamed like their old style matches, which was good. That's what we wanted. We didn't want to see something new. Like, we loved what happened in the past, and it's always good to build on nostalgia. I thought the run up and towards Night of Champions was really good as well, with the SmackDown before it with basic thugonomics, punkonomics.
Taunting Cena on SmackDown.
That was really cool.
That was great because it was Punk's little revenge moment on Cena
for the pipe bomb.
For the pipe bomb, obviously, as well, which was actually really cool. I liked the line where he said, "Oh, you can't wrestle," and then something about I'd leave the company too if my ex was rehired or something.
Yeah, that's crazy.
I think that one was actually
is
pretty
crazy.
good too. Yeah, but like we said last week, I think we're glad that we finally got this matchup because this seemed like years in the making. Like the Saudi Arabia crowd got behind it big time as well. They were also booing Punk at the start of the weekend as well.
The Saudi crowd was phenomenal.
Yeah.
And you don't often say that. And even for the girls, they're usually the biggest.
Only problem is that they didn't really acknowledge Jade Cargill. I think that was the only one that they didn't get really.
I can't blame them for that.
Yeah,
but we'll get to that. But I just thought we've been waiting so long for this match, and it was everything that we wanted. I'm a bit disappointed in the ending. I loved the way Seth came out. I don't love fake cash-ins or missed cash-ins, but I thought the way they did it was good because it was cool. Like the way Bron and Bron Security came out and just waltzed to the ring, and then Seth came out, and it was like he called Charles Robinson to the ring instead of just dragging a ref down and running down like every other cash-in ever. But everything else that came after that was where I draw the line. Like, I'm not a massive fan of the convoluted and like overbooked endings.
Yeah, I think when we had Penta come out at first, like, so see, I was expecting Roman Reigns.
Well, that's what where we're hearing OTC.
I genuinely thought we were gonna get Roman Reigns because Penta came out instead. Yes. So I heard the music and I'm like, hold on.
Yeah.
And then I'm like, oh, it's just Penta.
Yeah, I was throwing in my living room,
doing his little thing to the ring as well.
That was the dumbest thing.
I know. And then like literal brawls going on.
Yeah,
and
like,
then
dude,
but then Sammy came out for the second time for the night. Can I just say, like, wasn't it last week that we said that with we said if it wasn't his match with Karrion, we were gonna wonder, oh, what's next for Sami Zayn? Like after the King of the Ring tournament, like, we don't want him to go back to this whole feud with Seth's faction, but he has. Like, I just think they could be doing so much more with Sami Zayn. Like, they could be giving him a world title match at SummerSlam with Gunther or something, or even at Saturday night's main event as well. Like, get him involved because I genuinely believe that Sami Zayn will be a future world champion. But I think we'll get to that when we speak about Karrion Kross. But just to wrap it all up, I just don't like how Sami Zayn is getting inserted into this.
It's just like he gets nothing from it. He's in the main event scene, but what's he achieving in the main event scene?
Exactly.
Like the whole ultimatum he got, like the Raw after WrestleMania, was it, with Seth Rollins, and he was like, I'll let you go to SmackDown now. You can have a world title shot. I mean, undisputed championship title shot right now, like the next pay-per-view.
Yeah.
And he turned it down. Like, that's just the dumbest,
yeah,
story arc ever. But you know what? I think Sami Zayn will be a champion in the WWE. I'm excited for when he becomes a champion in the WWE, but I'm a bit disappointed in the way it's going at the moment.
Yeah, exactly. Well, John Cena, he retains his title and he's moving on to SummerSlam to face the American Nightmare Cody Rhodes, who defeated Randy Orton in the King of the Ring tournament final. So Cody versus Cena at SummerSlam is confirmed, which is good because obviously Cody hasn't got his rematch yet. And I think every superstar, once they lose a title, deserves some sort of rematch as well. So we're getting that. But this match, I thought it was great. I thought there was
phenomenal.
I thought there was some very good spots. I just didn't really like the ending of it. That's all. Like, because obviously Randy removed the top turnbuckle and then Cody pushed his elbow into it. Like, I just didn't like that ending. But I can't just dispute like the ending in all this. I thought, like, you can't. The match was still.
You can't
they
let
still
it
put
take
on
away
a show.
from the match. Yeah,
Especially
the match
to
was
open
phenomenal.
up. Yeah, like what was it? Cody going for the Cody cutter and then Randy turning it into an RKO.
Yeah,
that was one of the greatest spots in that match as well.
It was beautiful.
Yeah,
I just thought like it was just a good wrestling match. We haven't seen that from Randy.
Yeah,
a lot recently. Like, it's no secret he's getting older. His joints aren't amazing anymore. He can't do all the high flying spots or the brute spots. But you know what? That was a fantastic match.
Yeah,
and I'm willing to say, like, Cody didn't dominate that match either. Like, it was a real 50-50 split. Two guys that had amazing in-ring chemistry.
We did predict Cody to win, but I wouldn't have minded if Randy won either as well.
Well, the way the match built it up, it was so even and it was so contested to the point that you were thinking, like, could Randy win this? And that is the sign of a good match. So I was very happy with that. The interesting point is Randy hesitating. So Randy with the punt kick.
Yeah.
And after the match, after he'd lost and Cody had his interview, he was seen lingering in the background. Yeah. And you can just sense that, like, could Randy turn heel, or is he just going to, like, implode?
This is the thing with the whole Randy heel turn, though. Like, we've seen ever since WrestleMania this different side of Cody Rhodes. Like, obviously, he's still like the baby face that we all know and love. But I think a heel turn is more of a possibility for Cody rather than Randy Orton, because like that whole like punk kick from Randy, like deciding whether to do it, I think that ultimately sums up, you know, Randy's character in this day and age. Like, I'm not like, yes, Cody, like, I respect you. But what doesn't make sense is that the night before he said, I will go to any length to ensure that I win. Yeah. But yet he still couldn't do it. That just sums up Randy as a babyface right there. Like, saying he could do heel moves and tactics, but not doing it in the end. Whereas Cody, yeah, like I said, right, ever since WrestleMania. That's why I think it's interesting for this match at SummerSlam, because Cody has told John, since his return Saturday night's main event, that the next time they're in the ring together, he won't hesitate at all. So if we see the same story again where Cody's got the title and John's pleading, you won't see Cody, you know, be nice to John and give that up. You could see Cody low blow. You could see him attack Cena from behind. And that's why I think at SummerSlam, we could see Cody get back his championship. But I still want to see John hold the title until at least the last event of this year.
I'm interested to see if Cody loses at SummerSlam, if that's what causes it. He might lose clean. It might just be like, John was the better man. Like, I need to be rageful. I need to be vengeful. Maybe that's the kind of the trigger for the heel turn. I don't think it'll come without a loss.
Yeah.
But it's interesting. I think it'll be more, if he turns heel, it's not going to be like, I'm a bad guy, I'm going to beat up everyone. It's like more of a Homelander thing, like you said last week on the podcast. Like, we're just going to see Cody go to no end, to go to every end to win back his world title.
It's almost as if at SummerSlam, the roles could reverse here. Like, Cody could turn heel and John could turn back to a babyface. That could potentially happen, because we've seen John with the title as a heel. It'll still be interesting to see John with the title as a babyface. Like,
when do you think that babyface or the turn will come, or if it comes, to be honest?
It's so hard, because
if it doesn't come at SummerSlam, there probably isn't much time
it's so hard, because the heel turn has literally like picked up like after this night, after Night of Champions. So at least if John Cena is going to turn babyface at SummerSlam, at least we've got another month of heel Cena, but he won't be wrestling. Like, he'll just be doing promos with Cody Rhodes. So that heel turn, if it was to happen at SummerSlam, well, I just think that would...
You're putting an end to something that's great.
I think you're putting an end to something that's great. I'd love to see him hold it until like the last Saturday night's main event. I've said this multiple times to people, and people aren't a fan of it, but I'm just fantasy booking what I would love to see happen. Because obviously if John Cena was to turn to a babyface again, The Rock would have to be involved, because The Rock was also part of the reason that John Cena turned heel, right? So if that was to happen, John Cena would have to betray The Rock, which I would love to see John Cena versus The Rock.
Where again is The Rock? You know, I know. What I mean? Like, I just think that was probably one of the most intriguing parts of the retirement tour at the start. Yeah. Especially after the heel turn. It was like, well, like, we're either going to see The Rock tagging with John Cena, or we're going to, down the line, see either The Rock turn on Cena or Cena turn on The Rock. And that whole narrative has not been picked up once since that moment.
Because the thing is, I definitely see Cody winning the title again. And also Randy as well, might I add. But I definitely see Cody winning it again. How I'd love to see him win it is if John Cena's final match is against The Rock for the championship, and The Rock actually beats John Cena for the championship. And then you have Rock as a champion all the way through WrestleMania. Cody wins the Rumble or the Chamber. Probably the Chamber, because he's already won the Rumble twice.
In a row as well.
Yeah, so and then you have Cena. Then you have Cody and The Rock at WrestleMania next year, and that's where Cody wins his championship back.
But then you get Randy and Cody at SummerSlam at that following summer.
Exactly.
I think the important part of this match here was this is the first of many good matches between these two. Yeah. Like, it almost built it up as like it's not over. Yeah. Nowhere near over. Like, we could get a trilogy of this, which will be beautiful. Yeah. And it could span over 2 years. It's going to be a long long burning feud, which are Triple H's best work is in
Yeah.
these long burning feuds.
Well, Triple H, he also, the long burning feuds as well, but he loves his long-term
Booking,
storytelling and booking. So that's why you had The Rock at Bad Blood, which is crazy to think it's almost a year ago, doing 3, and then at Chamber doing 2. It's almost as if something could potentially happen where he goes to 1, and then... See, there will be a Rock story going into next year, and it's all centered around Cody Rhodes. Like, everything The Rock is doing is all around Cody Rhodes at the moment.
It could be that after The Rock comes back, it might be after Cena loses the title, and it might be, well, Cena couldn't do the job, so I'll do the job.
Yeah.
And that's the way they might book it.
Yeah.
But we'll see what happens. It's very interesting, and like every wrestling fan on the planet is like fantasy booking this in their head or with their friends.
The final boss.
The final boss.
Exactly.
Bloodline rules.
Well, Jade Cargill versus Asuka in the Queen of the Ring tournament final, where Jade Cargill is the Queen of the Ring. Pretty mid match, if I'm being honest.
This match was terrible.
It was pretty
And
bad.
Asuka was amazing. So
I
if
know.
this match was terrible, I think you know where I'm going with this. Jade was sloppy.
Yeah.
Again. And the fans...
Even after she
hated it.
won and she did her whole like speech, like when Brian Saxton came out, or was it Brian? It might have been. And she's all like, "Don't let anybody tell you what you can't do," or something like that. I'm just like, this is so
and
cringy.
at SummerSlam, a storm is coming.
It was so cringy. I'm just like, come on, Jade, you're better than that. But like, yeah, Oscar should have won. I like we all knew. Well,
Jade was going to
I said Oscar last week, but I actually changed my mind before it. Because I'm just like, yeah. Then even though Jade is sloppy, she's still in the ring, but like she's still gonna win. And like, I would have loved to see. I mean, obviously we got Io versus Rhea now at Evolution, but I would have loved to see Oscar versus Io at SummerSlam. I thought that could have been a banger, but we got Jade versus Tiffany. It makes sense more because of the Naomi Money in the Bank briefcase. You know, it's another way for her to screw over Jade if she was to cash in at SummerSlam, potentially.
It's just interesting.
But, yeah.
Because the WWE universe, as they are known, are never happy with people getting pushed in their face. Like, they've really got to get behind someone, and the WWE act on that. Jade's just been pushed because she's the big free agent signing from years ago. And they've built her up. And now they want to like push her into the main event scene and push her into the world title.
Yeah, she got the tag titles as soon as she just came onto the scene, and then return at Elimination Chamber. Obviously, she had to go through that feud with Naomi, but yeah, she's pushed straight away in this Queen of the Ring tournament too.
But
yeah.
the fans don't love it. Like they've never loved that, and I just can't see them getting behind this.
Yeah.
And I can't see a successful title reign or a successful even title victory when the fans aren't behind it.
What I will say though is that at least Tiffany is going to be versing someone different other than Nia.
100%.
You know what I mean?
100%.
Like we said before WrestleMania, if Tiffany was going to win at WrestleMania, which she did, this title reign would have to be like legit for her. Like she'd have to hold it for at least a year. You know, like showing upside like the way that she is, it would have had to be a legit title reign. So obviously she did win, but you have to defend the title against multiple people. Like this whole story of just her and Nia, you know, every single time, like it's just got a bit boring. So at least we're getting someone new. But then again, when you look at on Raw, Io hasn't defended the title since WrestleMania.
Well, that division is plagued
Yeah.
with just mediocrity.
I love to watch. I love SmackDown. Also, SmackDown's going 2 hours as well, so it's going to be short.
Way better.
Yeah, like I do like SmackDown, but I enjoy watching Raw a bit more, even though the whole title scene, like the tag titles and the women's world championships, a little bit dry at the moment. But I think the perfect way you could have elevated that whole Raw women's world championship scene is if Asuka won, but
well, now it just feels like Asuka is gonna dwindle away back to the tag title scene. Like
it was a better opportunity for Asuka here. Like they could have done so much with Asuka winning Queen of the Ring.
Well, AO Sky just needs competition, and like Liv's injured. Rhea has faced AO 3 to 4 times this calendar year,
Bianca coming back soon, potentially.
and it's going to be amazing. But Bianca's on SmackDown,
True. Yeah.
so we're looking at it's Asuka, it's Kairi Sane, it's
Yeah.
Rhea Ripley, and it's AO Sky.
Yeah.
They're the 4 in that. And like putting Kairi Sane in that conversation is a stretch in itself.
Yeah.
But who else is there?
Yeah, I know. It's annoying.
It's a tough division, and
Yeah.
like it's definitely not AO's fault because
Oh,
for
yeah,
once
yeah,
the
for
champion
sure.
is over. Like they have a champion they can build the division around, but there is no one.
Either way you look at it, I think Aero will still be wrestling at SummerSlam though, because SummerSlam, especially with the 2-nighter,
Well, I think
you'll get every title on show
Definitely.
at SummerSlam this year at least, because it's a two-night SummerSlam. So, yeah, every title will feature here, I assume.
I think they'll have to have Oscar, to be honest.
Yeah,
At AO.
you'll even at SummerSlam, you'll probably have the Women's Intercontinental Championship featuring, but we'll get to that a bit later on. But next one we're going to get to is Jacob Fatu versus Solo Sikoa, and Solo Sikoa is the new United States champion. This is crazy. Like, I would never have picked Solo to be a champion, at least at this point.
I like it though.
Yeah, same. Yeah.
I didn't expect it. Like Jacob Fatu's
No
that
way.
man, but I like it. I think that like they've obviously rebuilt. I don't know if they'll be known as the Bloodline anymore. I think they'll change. Like there'll be some sort of rebrand. I don't think they'll be the Bloodline or the new Bloodline anymore.
Even if they're not, it's still that whole story is still going on.
It's
like,
definitely.
Let's just be honest. The Bloodline story is never ending.
Yeah.
Like, it could go on for the next how many years, and
Yeah.
I'd still be fine with it, honestly. But I think we said before on the pod, I think it was the episode after Backlash, like, we wouldn't care. Like, I wouldn't care if Jacob Fatu held onto the title for 600 days plus, because he's just that guy at the moment. But I think either way, this was really good for Jacob Fatu, and I think he will win a singles title again in the not too distant future, maybe even a world title eventually. But I think this is really good for Solo as well. Also, Solo's just funny. Like, he's
His
so
character
funny.
works insanely
ring.
good at the moment.
Yeah, and I'd love to see what Solo will do with this title, because, like, I can't think of anyone right now as a front runner to potentially challenge him. Maybe Damian Priest, who was going to go in that direction.
I don't think we'll get Jacob Fatu back in this scene straight away. It's either we'll get him and Solo at SummerSlam, and it'll be an instant rematch, or we get a massive break between the two, and Jacob builds up a resume of some other people, and then we see Damian Priest, we see Jimmy Uso, we see those kind of competitors build up Solo. But it's interesting to see where this goes, because no one expected Jacob Fatu to lose. So it's hard to expect what is going to happen in this reign, because we didn't even expect the reign to happen.
Because you had Solo Sikoa and JC Mateo, obviously, and then all of a sudden you add Tangaloa and Talatonga to it now. And now you've got this whole new super bloodline, if you want to call it that, I guess. But I see a tag match happening where it's Jacob and Jimmy Uso versus Solo and one of them, maybe JC Mateo here. I see that happening because I'm pretty sure Jacob and Jimmy are going to align. But I'm looking ahead at War Games here. It makes it interesting because you could have this is a War Games match potentially, like another bloodline, but I don't think they'll go in that direction. I think Seth Faction will be involved. But it just does make it interesting for Roman's return, because he's obviously tied with this whole bloodline, and he's very tight with Jimmy Uso as well, and also Jey Uso. Like, now that he's lost the world championship, I think let's just steer Jey Uso away from the world title picture,
Just away from Gunther, please.
and let's just put him back in that sort of upper mid card scene where he can reunite with Jimmy Uso and Jacob Fatu and get involved in this. Like, I still want to see like a bloodline versus bloodline saga here. So I think involving Jey in this would be a really good idea.
I agree.
But all in all, I think Solo deserves it. He's been here long enough. Like, as the enforcer for a while, it's good that he's going on this little run as, so-called tribal chief, and then United States champion. Because we didn't know what... I'm glad Solo's won, because we didn't understand what Solo's role would be, especially after losing the Ulafala. So now he's got a singles title. I'd love to see what he's going to do with it.
It's awesome for him, and I'm with you. I'm interested.
Yeah.
I don't know if I'm fully on board yet, but I'm interested, and that's what matters.
Yeah, for sure. Sami Zayn versus Karrion Kross. All in all, I think we weren't surprised about the result here, but I'm just happy to see that Kross is wrestling and on a PLE. But we also thought that this whole rivalry was going to end, but obviously Kross attacked Sami Zayn on Raw. Yeah.
I'm glad the Kross did enough in the eyes of the corporate to show that they can give him another match or another feud, because he's gone and attacked Sami Zayn on Raw, which means it's not over and that there is more screen time in the future for Karrion Kross. So he's done one job, he's over with the fans, and now he's done another job and he's getting into the good books and putting in good performances.
Yeah.
So I'm very hopeful for Karrion Kross. Hopefully the fans stay engaged.
Yeah.
And stay engaged with this feud in particular.
Yeah. Because I wouldn't know what is next for Karrion Kross, really. Like, obviously attacking Sami Zayn on Raw, at least, so we're going to get that again, probably. But I love to see him at SummerSlam. Even if it is against Sami Zayn at SummerSlam, so be it. So be it.
If it wasn't Sami Zayn, who do you think could be a possible?
That's the thing. I have no idea. Like, maybe AJ Styles. If
I'd love to see him in the IC title picture.
Like, because obviously he had that whole thing with AJ before. I mean, I know AJ's going after the Intercontinental title, which could happen at SummerSlam.
Dom's injured though. It's the perfect time.
Sooner if Dom is medically cleared. That's the thing. Ever since Karrion Kross has been featured backstage every week, he's only really gone after AJ Styles and Sami Zayn. Like, he hasn't really made it clear to anyone else that he wants to wrestle them, which is interesting, because I don't know who. Like,
well, he hates liars. So if we think liars wise, maybe we're gonna get to him, but maybe Ludwig Kaiser.
Yeah,
he's the penultimate liar.
Potentially,
but
we'll
see what happens.
Seen a few times.
Yeah.
So I have no idea about Karrion Kross at the moment, but also have no idea why Sami Zayn's getting back in this whole Seth Rollins faction. Like, he's
in 5 feuds at once, and that's the same as Jay. It's like
he just can't leave it alone, can he? Like, he just wants to get involved in everything, which is annoying in terms of, like,
it's annoying to watch.
Story.
It's annoying to get behind it.
Because if we do have Seth's faction at War Games, then Sammy will definitely be on the opposing side now.
Sammy,
like, if I have to pick, actually, just quickly, if you had to pick 5 people to go up against Seth Rollins' faction, plus 2 more on Seth's side, but we don't have to get to that. But if you had to pick 5 people to go up against Seth's faction, who would you go with?
Sammy J, Punk, LA Knight, and Penta probably.
Yeah, I think Roman will come back.
True. Yeah.
So I'd go Sammy, Roman Reigns, CM Punk. I'd go Jacob Fatu, and maybe Jimmy Uso with him, because I see Jacob forming a alliance with Roman once Roman is back. Because I think we've got babyface Fatu right now. Like, he's no longer a heel. Like, obviously he's still showing his heel signs from when he was Solo's enforcer, but all in all, we've got a heel version of Jacob Fatu, a babyface version of Jacob Fatu.
Yeah, definitely.
But yeah, Sami Zayn, he'll probably get tied into this, whole Seth faction until it's all said and done. So yeah. Well, Raquel Rodriguez against Rhea Ripley at Night of Champions. This match was great.
It was a good match.
Yeah, it was.
They have good chemistry, these two.
Yeah, riptide off the top table and the top rope as well. I liked how they put the table going across the top rope as well.
It was
Although I
interesting.
felt like it could have, like they could have had a table break or something, as well. Just because everyone loves a table break as well.
And the Slim Jim table break.
Yeah, I know. But no, Raquel took the something off the top. What's it called on the
Riptide?
table? No, like on the announce table, she took something off and then hung it over the top of the barricade and slammed Rhea into
Oh
it.
yeah, yeah.
I don't know what it's called.
The cover thing. Yeah.
Yeah, which was cool as well. But yeah, Roxanne interfered, which we all thought she would. Yeah, I mean, pretty much everything that happened in this match, I think you expected to happen in this match.
It's also worth mentioning though, like we can't be upset that 2 + 2 = 4. Like it's awesome. Like it was an awesome performance by both of these women,
Yeah,
especially in like a Saudi crowd that don't traditionally get behind the women. They put on a great match that the fans loved, which was awesome. And like even though Roxanne interfered, it still felt like it was these two having an absolute brawl.
Yeah, it did, and they've obviously had a lot of history between each other as well. So they're very familiar with each other, so they knew how to put on a good match as well. But like this whole match is giving me like Catwoman vibes. Like, did you see all their gear?
Yeah.
Like, bro, I've never seen Rhea Ripley in gear like that. Like, far out.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's the kind of symptom of Saudi Arabia.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure. Yeah, you can't really say much about this match other than it was just a good match and everything happened how you expected it to happen.
Exactly.
Yeah. But speaking of Raquel and Roxanne, so the Judgment Day on Raw got featured heavily because Dom and it was Finn and JD won the tag team titles.
That was a
won
great
them back
match.
from the New Day.
That was
It
actually
was.
awesome.
Yeah, I didn't expect them to win it actually. Like I thought it was just going to be another, random Raw tag titles defense as well, because we've spoken a lot about the tag team division on Raw and how it's a little bit more lackluster than the tag team division on SmackDown. But I think for the Judgment Day at the moment, it's good that Finn and JD have won them, because obviously we saw them give the title to Roxanne with Raquel as well.
Everyone's got gold in the Judgment Day, which is cool.
It's a good look. Yeah.
It's interesting though. If you have a look at the titles, like obviously the women's tag team titles aren't in this graphic, but pretend they're here and here. If you look up there, you're looking at the 5 belts that are the most mediocre, just uncontested belts in the WWE at the moment.
Yeah,
but
I know.
it is cool to see them all have gold.
Yeah.
And like you watching that tag match, like I couldn't wipe the smile off my face watching Finn Balor win gold again.
Bro, whatever Finn's plan is right now, it's working.
Oh yeah.
Like everything is falling into place for him. Like I love one of the major reasons I love watching Raw every Tuesday morning is because I love seeing like Judgment Day Clubhouse segments. Like it's one of my favorite like even though it only goes for like a minute and a half in a 2.5 hour show.
It's so funny.
It's my favorite thing to watch every single week, these Judgment Day Clubhouse things, because right now you've got Dom and Roxanne with the whole Nuggets situation, Raquel being a little bit pissed off with Finn, but also glad that she's holding
Still
her
got the tag
championship.
titles, yeah.
Finn and JD obviously now have their titles, and Finn's just concocting a plan, which is gonna fall out eventually. But like even when Finn, like at the end of it, when Finn's like, Liv's gonna love this, she's gonna love this, and just like laughing, like it's so funny watching this every single week. But obviously we're not gonna get Dom for a little while, just because he's injured at the moment. But it's good to see the Judgment Day have gold, like every single one of them in this. It's just sad that Liv's not there. And Carlito, by the way.
Free Carly, bro.
I know, bro.
Tom
Carlito.
just misses his one eater.
Yeah, I know. But speaking of the tag titles, like Raquel and Roxanne will be defending them at Evolution in a Fatal 4-Way tag match.
This will be awesome.
Yeah. I'm not sure about which team they could get from NXT in this, but I'm fairly certain that they'll get Alexa and Charlotte for the SmackDown one.
I agree.
And then, who did you say for Raw?
I think Maxine Dupree and Natalia. I just think, like, what do we get? Like, the past Evolution was 7 years ago. And and now we've got Evolution again. Who knows how long it's going to take to get another Evolution?
Yeah.
Like, Natalya is the backbone of this division. Like,
Yeah.
she deserves her moment in the sun, and this is the perfect moment to have her in a marquee title match on a women's only pay-per-view.
Yeah.
So that's where I think they'll go on Raw. I'm with you. I'm a bit unsure about NXT.
Yeah.
I don't often partake in watching too much NXT. I see the clips.
Yeah.
But
I see him as well, but I just don't see a front runner at the moment because obviously there's only one women's tag team championship. So it's not like SmackDown where you have the two. So it's not as if the title's going to change over to NXT, really, if you think about it. But that's the thing. I think Roxanne and Raquel either way will probably win this because
I think so.
they have to prove that they can be champions. And going back to Finn's plan at the moment, his long-term plan,
Yeah,
obviously
he needs this,
he needs Roxanne to win. That's where the Judgment Day could come in handy as well. Like they could help.
Could we see
them out
Dom
potentially.
like help Roxanne and we start to build this like
oh, I didn't mean to help you, Roxanne.
yeah,
But it just happens. Like a bit like
like
we
he
said
catches
before.
her
Yeah.
and then
A
his
bit- a
one
bit-
eater
a
is
bit-
going to be so upset.
A bit like Liv last year. Wait, Liv's return will be huge. And
The
hopefully,
pop will be insane.
and hopefully she goes on like a massive babyface run or something. So
I want to see Liv like when she returns, like you know how Cargill returned at the Elimination Chamber, just eyeballed
yeah,
and just went and just beat the ever living crap.
yeah. I would
out of
even love.
Bayley.
I would even love to see Liv and Rhea rejoin as a like just
That'd
as
be
a tag
interesting,
team to try and get a bit of payback on Raquel and Roxanne potentially. I'd want to see that personally. Yeah.
I just think there's so much that can happen in this feud, so I'm very interested.
Mm.
We'll see what happens, but
Yeah.
that's the big feud
Yeah.
on Raw at the moment.
All in all, I love watching the Judgment Day on Raw every week. It's just great television, if I'm being honest.
Great television, I
Yeah.
agree.
Well, this next one, pretty sure this just got even more dumb, as you said last week. Even more dumb.
Did you see what Lyra Valkyria posted on Instagram?
No, I didn't.
She posted the photo of the pin, and she was like, "My shoulder, like I'm on top, like my shoulders aren't down."
Mm.
And like all of the fans were like, shut up, I can see your shoulders on the mat. Like, it just got even dumber because, like, a draw. It's happened before. Like famously, CM Punk and John Cena, Night of Champions in 2011.
Yeah.
But this, like, they could have got. They're inevitably going to get to a triple threat. We understand that. Me, you, like the whole world of WWE, we understand that. But they could have got there from a Becky Lynch disqualification, just beating them both up. We could have got there from literally 100 different other ways.
Look, if Becky wasn't involved in this, and you just had these two in a match, it's a draw, and they're beating each other up, and they have a feud just for the two of them, I'd say fair enough. Like I'd be happy with that. But the fact that they're doing this over the Intercontinental Championship in what was a number one contenders Intercontinental Championship match, it's just giving Bayley Naomi vibes last year when they were trying to go for the title against Nia
Even
or
with,
something. It's just stupid. Like it's stupid that the Intercontinental title is getting like thrown into this mess when Becky didn't even show up on Raw.
Well, literally, like Michael Cole goes on commentary, he goes, well, I guess Becky Lynch doesn't have a number one contender anymore. Like, this is the perfect outcome for her. Like, no, it's not. And we all see right through it. Like, like we're going to see Adam Pearce go, you know what? Since we didn't have a winner, we're going to have a triple threat.
Yeah.
Player. Like, no, like, yeah. This is the feud of 2025 that makes me as a wrestling fan feel like I'm stupid and they feel like I'm stupid. And they're like, well, we have to put a stupid storyline in front of stupid Jasper so that he understands stupid wrestling. And it's stupid.
But I guess what were we expecting though? Like, what, Becky attacking Bayley at WrestleMania? Like, I'm all for how Becky returned at WrestleMania, winning the titles. But I'm glad that Raquel and Liv eventually got their titles back the day after because that just didn't make sense. Like Becky and Lyra being tag champs, and obviously Becky attacking Lyra. It's just this is going on for too long. Like this whole Becky Lyra situation, and then putting Bayley in. I just feel like it's going on for too long. But I don't know about you. But
I'm not of the opinion that it's going on too long to the sense. I just think the way they've gone about it is the dumbest thing ever.
Yeah.
Like, it didn't need to be... They're trying to make us as fans understand how we are going to get to a triple threat match instead of knowing that the fans understand that the triple threat match is the end game.
Yeah.
And just take us there.
Yeah.
We don't need this spill. We don't need this just dumbness.
Yeah. Week after week on Raw, it's just getting annoying, really. But, oh well. Looking at Saturday night's main event, Seth Rollins versus LA Knight. They had a brawl up in the
This was
stands. Cool. Yeah, it was. I love LA Knight's just he's so good. Like, how do I put this? Like, I'm trying to think of another way to say how he's funny, but like, he uses his humor.
He's charismatic
in a way that he also expresses his hate towards someone in a feud as well, like perfectly.
Yeah.
Like even with Jacob Fatu before WrestleMania, like I don't know if you saw one of the other videos when he's like, I'll kick your punk ass so hard you won't be able to stop the shake, and then started doing the Jacob Fatu shake and everything like that. And then with when he was in that fatal 4-way at Backlash with Jacob and Drew and Damian Priest as well, just even before that, sitting on the top rope and saying to Drew, "Are you done?" And he's like, "Oh, I can't even remember your last title reign," or something like that. Like I said, he uses his humor in a way to express his hate towards others in a feud perfectly, and that's why I think he deserves to be like higher up on the card. Like he's not.
I agree.
He's not a mid card wrestler at all. So that's why I think they shouldn't go back to him in the United States Championship picture on a mid card title. I like how he's getting involved with Seth Rollins again because he still has unfinished business there because of what happened at Money in the Bank, obviously. So yeah.
He gives Stone Cold energy, like the way that he uses humor to backhandedly, like, insult his competitors.
Exactly.
I think the Seth Rollins match is gonna be the best match of his career. I just think like Seth gets the best out of everyone in the ring, and LA Knight is a phenomenal in-ring worker. Like, he's not the top of the card.
Yeah.
And he isn't given the massive credit of like one of the best in-ring workers in the company.
But he hasn't. But he's proved time and time again, especially
that he can
this
get it
year,
done.
that
Exactly.
he can. Yeah.
Exactly. So I think this will be a really good match, and it has the capability to steal the show.
Yeah.
At Saturday night's main event.
What was also good is that you see sometimes with these mid-card titles, especially a little bit now with Dom and a little bit with Bron Breakker when he had it for 181 days before he lost it at WrestleMania. You don't see them that much with the title, whereas LA Knight when he had his US title, he was always defending it. He was seen every week with it.
He was the workhorse.
Like, yeah. He was doing wonders with that title. Like after he beat Logan Paul for it, because Logan Paul obviously wasn't doing much with it. Like, let's be honest. And he was always going to lose at SummerSlam last year because obviously his wife was pregnant at the time. So yeah. he was going to leave anyway, and he wasn't doing much with it. But LA Knight just elevated the US Championship even more because he was literally doing every single week with it, defending it, and now I think that proved even more that 2024 was a good year for LA Knight, but 2025, like, he should have won Money in the Bank.
Definitely.
We'll say
again, that. 3 years in a row.
Yeah. But I think he could win it next year. That's the thing. Potentially.
Yeah, hopefully. He'll go in as the favourite again.
Yeah.
And we'll be avidly disappointed once again.
What I also want to talk about in this is that, did you hear Paul Heyman talking about a plan
going
B?
to, what was it, Florida?
Potentially, yeah. And concocting a plan B.
It sounds like NXT. It sounds like getting someone from NXT.
Yeah.
Is it Ethan Page? Is it Ricky Saints?
I thought it could be Ethan Page, and we thought he could have been a third member of Seth's faction. I'm glad they went with Bronson, but because Ethan Page right now is the North American champion on NXT, I think he'd have to lose that championship
first, yeah,
and then go to Seth's faction if they were going to do that.
Could be Ricky Saints.
Yeah, it could be. Like, I want to see someone from NXT get a call up to the main roster to join Seth's faction. Like, a bit like what happened with Solo, you know, like in Roman's bloodline. I'd love to see someone from NXT in that regard because right now, excuse me. I think you can't put it down to many people. Maybe Grayson Waller
I was
potentially.
going to say, can we get Austin Theory?
I don't think.
He's off television. Like, that's kind of
always
the recipe.
I just think everyone really people have started to voice their concerns for Austin Theory, and at some of the non-televised events, they've been cheering for him. And for Theory's showing so many babyface signs that I don't think he just totally
enjoys a heel faction. Yeah,
go to a heel faction. Like I would have loved to. I would have loved to see him in Bronson's position if it happened a little bit earlier. But I think Bronson's been in Seth's faction for at least 5 or 6 weeks now.
Definitely.
That it's a little bit too late to insert Theory into this when everyone wants to see him as a babyface. That's why I think now at the New Day, obviously Grayson was sort of trying to get back at Theory by hanging out with the New Day. Now that the New Day's lost their championships, you could have Grayson Waller. Because no one understands what Grayson's doing at the moment. Like, let's be honest.
It doesn't make any sense.
So that's why, but it makes sense for him to be a 4th member of Seth's faction, I think. But, because I think Grayson is pretty good in ring. And I think he's, but we haven't seen a Grayson Waller effect in a while. That's why I think if they were to turn on each other, it'd have to happen on a Grayson Waller effect. Yeah. I think as soon as a Grayson Waller effect is announced for a Monday Night Raw show, that's exactly that's exactly when the turn's going to come. I'm literally waiting for another Grayson Waller effect, and then Grayson can turn on Theory, or Theory turns on Grayson, and Grayson joins Seth's faction. I think that works out. Whether that happens, I don't know, but we'll see.
We will see.
This one, El Grande Americano. We saw him on Monday Night Raw. Chad Gable right now is out with a shoulder injury, right? But El Grande Americano is seen with American Made. This just makes the point. El Grande Americano is not Chad Gable.
That ain't Chad Gable.
He's not Chad Gable. I don't know what people are getting at. Pat McAfee's right all along.
It's literally Pat McAfee.
Why else do you think he's not on TV?
That would actually be so cool.
It's not Chad Gable. But what's also a bit interesting is that Chad Gable's obviously he's out injured, but the El Grande Americano is actually 5'8", but then we got a 6'3" El Grande Americano. Like crazy growth spurt for El Grande Americano. I'll just say that. But he's not Chad Gable, and anyone who says he is Chad Gable is
an idiot.
Is an idiot and is a flop and is just wrong because it's not Chad Gable. Chad Gable right now is out with a shoulder injury, and we saw El Grande Americano on Monday Night Raw.
It can't be Chad Gable.
So, yeah, anyone who disputes that,
it could be The Rock.
It could be anyone. Honestly, could be Mr. Iguana under there. Could be Tommy Invincible.
Could be Tommy Invincible.
Tommy Invincible is El Grande Americano. It could be. It genuinely could be. But I think the main point we're getting at here is that El Grande Americano, he's still on TV, and obviously Chad Gable is not anymore.
So it's a mythbuster.
Yeah, I know. Exactly. Well, Giulia, she's the new Women's United States champion. You called it.
Well deserved.
Congratulations.
Well, thank you.
I said Zelina last week. I don't know why I said Zelina. It was a pretty stupid call by me, if I'm being honest. But, yeah, new US champ. A great decision. It's so good to see these NXT recruits having their moments. Like, Roxanne's already a tag champ. Giulia's already got the mid-card singles title.
Valkyria is well on her way to winning
I think she'll win the Battle Royale, if I'm being honest. So, because just Selena's, I guess, reign was starting to get a little bit boring. So
She screams like a contender for a title rather than a champion.
Yeah.
Or her best work is chasing a title, not defending a title.
Yeah.
I think it's hard to hate too much on Selena. She's a good in-ring worker. She's had some botches, but I don't think that's a true testament on how she is as a wrestler.
Yeah. Well, there's not much to say. I mean, Giulia, be interesting to see who she defends it against first. Probably Zelina. Zelina will probably get a rematch, but Giulia will probably win. So, yep, I'm glad Julie's won this. It's a good decision.
I'd love to see, like, maybe like a Nia Jax or something drop from the main event to the mid card. Not because I think Nia Jax doesn't deserve to be in the main event scene, but if she can, say, drop down and put over Giulia, and all of a sudden we get some prestige to this title.
Yep.
And then maybe she has a couple of weeks off, and then she attacks someone, and she's back in the main event scene.
Yeah.
Because Nia's not gonna really lose it from a loss.
Candice LeRae might be a good option here.
Candice LeRae is a great option.
Like similar height, so they could put on a pretty good, decent match.
Candice LeRae is great in the ring as well.
Yeah, I think you get Candice and Giulia would be a good matchup. But
I agree.
We'll see what happens with Giulia. Yeah. Well, thank you very much for tuning in to Heel Turn today, episode 13. Thanks for joining me again, Jasper.
No worries, Liam.
Make sure you can acknowledge the
Tribal Chief.
Jasper. Acknowledge Jasper. But yeah, make sure you go check us out on our socials, Instagram, TikTok and Twitter. And make sure you subscribe to the channel. We're almost at 100 subscribers. We're at 80 subscribers at the moment. So we're nearly there. But thank you so much for watching.
Our 100th subscriber will make a doof stick of you. I'll make it.
We will. And shout out again to our mate, Jamie Bataglia.
Mate.
See you next week.